Bad news. Su Yu was hit and killed by a large truck while walking on the road. Good news. The truck smashed Su Yu into countless pieces and even crossed over. In the world of comprehensive martial arts, rob the tomatoes on sticks of Mo Xiaobei, the red flame maniac, cultivate a chat group world and pretend to be a senior to deceive Song Shuhang, under one person in the world, form a duo with Zhang Chulan without Bai Lian after countless eras. Su Yu fell silent when asked why he had achieved the Great Way and left only one silhouette for sentient beings in the moment of reflecting the heavens. Because I want face. Keywords of the novel. People in the heavens, with their backs to sentient beings. No pop-ups, people in the heavens, with their backs to sentient beings. Download the complete TXT collection, People in the Heavens, with their backs to sentient beings. Latest chapter reading. Why do we turn our backs on sentient beings in Chapter 1? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Why do we turn our backs on sentient beings in Chapter 1? Senior brother Su Yu, did Emperor Yi Fan return to Earth later? Yes, not only did he go back, but he also paid the parking fees he had owed for decades. The little Taoist beside him was full of question marks on his face, looking puzzled. Does the Heavenly Emperor still need to pay parking fees? Of course I need it, Su Yu lightly tapped the little Taoist's head and said seriously, so what about the Heavenly Emperor? Can the Heavenly Emperor not repay the money? But when these great figures in the world of cultivation are combined with worldly money, it gives people a very discordant feeling. What you're saying is that our Dragon and Tiger Mountain can also be considered one of the bullies in the alien world. It's different to rely on selling tourist tickets to make money. Little Taoist. Senior Su Yu's words are so reasonable, he was speechless for a moment. At the same time, another young Taoist who was listening to stories around Su Yu also raised his own questions. Senior brother Su Yu, why has the Wuxia Emperor always turned his back to sentient beings? Su Yu. *°C*. Good question. This strange question instantly silenced Su Yu. Why didn't he think of this when he was looking at the sky before traveling? Maybe he's ugly. There's no way, Modong didn't mention the reason why Emperor Wuxia has always turned his back on sentient beings. Su Yu can only casually fabricate an answer to deal with this group of curious junior brothers. Senior brother. Just as Su Yu was chatting with a group of junior brothers, a call interrupted the playfulness. Junior brother Su Yu. Su Yu looked up and saw a figure prominently reflected in his eyes. This person has a tall and upright posture, with white skin and silver hair, long hair that reaches the waist, and a cinnabar dot on his eyebrows. He looks handsome, floating in white clothes, and a calm expression on his face. It is Zhang Lingyu, Su Yu's senior brother and the disciple of the Heavenly Master. It's Senior Lingyu. What's up? Su Yu was somewhat surprised by Zhang Lingyu's arrival. After all, since her trip down the mountain 2 years ago, Zhang Lingyu has changed completely. Although he remained gentle with others, he became noticeably silent, as if he had something on his mind. Previously, Zhang Lingyu would sometimes come with Su Yu to tease these young disciples in the Heavenly Master's mansion after finishing their daily homework. Nowadays, Zhang Lingyu only runs alone to the back mountain to practice lightning techniques after finishing her daily homework. Everyone in the Heavenly Master's mansion wants to know what happened to Zhang Lingyu during the time when he went down the mountain. Even the old Heavenly Master personally talked to Zhang Lingyu, but in the end, it was still unresolved. However, Su Yu was well aware of this. It was probably during the time when Zhang Lingyu went down the mountain that he met Xia He. Su Yu did not quite understand Zhang Lingyu's regret and remorse. Isn't it just about talking to Xia He? It's not a big deal. After the boy's body was broken, he could only practice Yin 5 Thunder, but there was no distinction between Yin 5 Thunder and Yang 5 Thunder, both are just different edited versions of the 5 Thunder correct method, and in the end, they both have to go the same way. As for whether Taoist priests can find partners, after all, their heavenly master mansion does not prohibit marriage. Zhang Lingyu just needs to bring Xiaohe back and report to the old master, and they can be together in good faith, at most being teased by the old master twice. As for Xiaohe's naturally seductive problem, Suyu believes that the heavenly master must also have a solution. In this case, Xiaohe will not join the whole sex after that. I can only say that Zhang Lingyu's face is still too thin. However, it was precisely because of this that Suyu felt strange about Zhang Lingyu's sudden visit. Why did Zhang Lingyu come here to practice his Yin-5 Thunder technique when he didn't stay in the back mountain at this point? Zhang Lingyu didn't leave any ink on it either. After nodding slightly at Suyu, she directly stated her intention to come. Master, he is looking for us at home. Upon hearing these words, Suyu immediately froze in place. It's broken. It shouldn't have been discovered that he secretly used the old master's phone to watch the female anchor. After following Zhang Lingyu into the main hall of the Longhu Mountain Heavenly Master Mansion, Suyu's suspended heart slightly relaxed. Lao Tianshi himself is an unconventional and carefree old mischievous child. It must be a serious matter for him to be summoned in the main hall of the Tianshi mansion. At least it is not about investigating Suyu for using his old man's phone to watch the female anchor. As Suyu had anticipated, today's old celestial master no longer dressed in his usual cloth clothes, but instead changed into his Taoist attire. Obviously, there was something important to announce. After everyone arrived, the heavenly master slowly spoke up. I'm calling everyone over today to announce something. The old man, I have decided to hold the Luo Tian festival to select new candidates for the heavenly master. As soon as these words were spoken, everyone in the hall was instantly shocked. Holding the Luo Tian festival was enough, but selecting a new candidate for the heavenly master was a major event that could shake the world of outsiders. However, what they didn't expect was that old master's words had not been finished yet. And this time, the Luo Tian festival is open to the entire alien world, and the younger generation, regardless of their sect, can participate. Compared to the previous sentence, the commotion caused by the words of the old master is even greater. Some senior members of the Zhengyi sect couldn't help but speak up, but the heavenly master didn't give them a chance to question. You all go prepare, Lingyu, Suyu, you stay for a while. Everyone. What else can these people do if the old master's words are clear and he doesn't give them a chance to argue? Some people question the decision of the heavenly master in their hearts, but the heavenly master is the leader of the righteous path, and the heavenly master himself is an invincible outsider who dominates the world. Even if they have opinions, they are useless at all. Some people are convinced by the heavenly master and believe that his actions must have profound implications. They only need to implement the heavenly master's orders. So, after a brief commotion, everyone bowed respectfully to the heavenly master before retreating. In the main hall of the heavenly master mansion, only old heavenly master, Zhang Lingyu, and Suyu remained. Lingyu, Suyu, you were all strong competitors for the position of heavenly master. Do you have any complaints about my decision? Upon hearing old master's inquiry, Zhang Lingyu immediately returned. Master, I have no complaints, and I have never coveted the position of heavenly master. Suyu on the side also spoke in agreement. Yeah, master, you know me. Like Senior Lingyu, I have no interest in the position of heavenly master at all. Not to mention that after becoming a heavenly master, one must take on the responsibility of commanding the entire Zhengyi Dao. Just the heavenly master degree alone is enough to dispel Suyu's desire to compete for the position of heavenly master. To be a celestial master, one must have the demeanor of a celestial master in every word and action, and even carry the great prohibition of the celestial master's degree. This heavenly master, it's not appropriate. Upon hearing Suyu's words, old Master Mi's eyes slightly opened, the corners of his mouth curled up, revealing a kind smile. That old man, I'm curious about what Xiaoyu is interested in. Can you use my phone to watch the female anchor? Suyu. #degree, end of this chapter. Chapter 2. You have to go even if you don't go. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. You have to go even if you don't go. In the main hall of the Heavenly Master's mansion, when the old Heavenly Master showed a smile that seemed rather than a smile, Suyu knew that something was going to happen. With so many years of experience being beaten, Suyu instinctively activated the golden light curse. Although it was a hasty reaction, the heavy golden light suddenly rose up, enveloping Suyu's entire body, enough to show his proficiency in the golden light curse. Zhang Lingyu on the side couldn't help but glance at this scene. The golden light is rich and moving according to one's heart. How could Suyu's golden light curse have such a realm? Zhang Lingyu originally thought that Suyu would just play and joke with the other disciples in the Heavenly Master's mansion after finishing his homework every day, and his cultivation would definitely fall behind a lot. But now he has realized that this is not the case at all. Leaving Lei Fa aside for now, Suyu is definitely not weaker than him with just this golden light curse. Of course, Zhang Lingyu, a great person like him, definitely doesn't have any jealousy in his mind. At this moment, all he is thinking about is whether his talent is too poor, and whether he should continue to increase his daily practice time. Looking back at Suyu and the Heavenly Master, although Suyu's reaction was already quick, it was still of little use in front of the Heavenly Master. The Heavenly Master didn't even use the golden light curse, so he lightly moved his hand. The result was like a real attack, easily penetrating the protective golden light and then hitting Suyu's head. Hiss, it hurts a bit. Watching Suyu's exaggerated performance of crouching and defending with his head clasped, Old Master rolled his eyes in silence. While he was practicing martial arts, he secretly took his phone to watch the female anchor and even gave a reward. That's all for it, I don't know what this kid did. His account even got a real name authentication for the 65th generation Heavenly Master of Longhu Mountain. As a result, a rumor gradually spread in the circle of outsiders. The 65 generation Heavenly Masters of Longhu Mountain are old and strong, watching beautiful women's live broadcasts every day. If it weren't for that old man Lu Jin calling to mock, the Heavenly Master would still be in the dark. So, how dare Suyu still scream for pain here? The old master felt that he must have created a shocking evil in his previous life, and only in this life did he accept such a heartbreaking disciple. However, liver pain belongs to liver pain, and old master is quite satisfied with Suyu. Just talking about the golden light curse just now, if it weren't for old master's own thorough understanding of the golden light curse, he could easily see through the operation rules of the golden light ritual. He really couldn't break Suyu's defense without qi. This cultivation is on par with Zhang Lingyu, and can be considered a leader among the younger generation. And unlike Zhang Lingyu's straightforwardness, Suyu is more smooth. With these two people here, there is no need to worry about the 100 years after Longhu Mountain. However, these ideas are only thoughts that the Heavenly Master has in his heart and cannot be expressed. Otherwise, Suyu, this little brat, wouldn't be able to tell where his tail went when he heard it. Alright, stop pretending. I don't know how much strength it took, old man. This time is also a small punishment and a big warning, let's see if you dare to do it again next time. Upon hearing these words, Suyu knew that his exquisite acting skills, which could rival Feng Baobao, had already been seen through by the Heavenly Master, so he decided not to pretend. Hee, Master, my golden light curse is pretty good, isn't it? The old master glanced at Suyu. It's okay, it seems that although you enjoy playing with your senior brothers every day, you still have a deep desire for cultivation. However, compared to the old man when I was young, you are still far behind. Upon hearing the decent evaluation from the Heavenly Master, Suyu was not remorseful either. After all, old master is his own master, and he is also the pinnacle of the alien world. In his eyes, his cultivation level can only be considered decent. As for the old master's statement, it is even more true than when he was young. That's right, master. What kind of person are you from? How can we compare ourselves? Watching the master and apprentice suddenly boasting about business for some reason, Zhang Lingyu beside them was covered in black lines. Zhang Lingyu knew that if no one interrupted, these two mischievous children, old and young, could boast like this for a whole day. Thinking of this, Zhang Lingyu could only grit her teeth and step forward, interrupting their communication. Master, do you have any instructions to keep me and junior brother Su Yu? It was only when Zhang Lingyu interrupted him that old master remembered that he had deliberately left the two of them behind. There was indeed something he wanted them to do. The old master straightened his expression and began to talk about the purpose of keeping the two of them. Xiaoyu and Lingyu, there's something you need to do to keep you here. A newcomer named Zhang Chulan recently joined the North China region. According to the information provided by the company, he should be practicing the golden light mantra of our heavenly master mansion. You two should invite each other to participate in this Luo Tian festival. Zhang Lingyu. Su Yu. After listening to old master's words, Su Yu and Zhang Lingyu had different reactions. Zhang Lingyu's face was full of doubts. Who is this person named Zhang Chulan? The practitioner is the secret golden light mantra passed down by their heavenly master's mansion. The master even invited the other person to participate in the Luo Tian festival. How did this Luo Tian festival come about, as if the master had specially arranged it for the other party? As for Su Yu, it was a pure shock. When the heavenly master announced that he was going to hold the Luo Tian festival, Su Yu knew the plot had begun. However, to his surprise, the heavenly master wanted him to invite Zhang Chulan with Zhang Lingyu. Isn't it in the original work that Zhang Lingyu went alone with two dragon-set disciples? Two completely different reactions create two completely different answers. Although Zhang Lingyu was puzzled, he, who respected his teachers and values the Tao, hesitated for a moment before choosing to follow the instructions of the old master. Yes, I take orders. Although Su Yu was a bit curious about Zhang Chulan, he was just curious. As a otaku, he had no interest in going out, so he decisively chose to refuse. Master, it seems that my cultivation is about to break through recently. I'd better stay in seclusion on the mountain. Inviting just one person is enough, brother Lingyu. Junior brother, do you need to improve your cultivation again? Since that's the case, then this task will be up to me. Before Zhang Lingyu could finish speaking, he was mercilessly interrupted by the old celestial master. Break through my butt. If you stay on the mountain, you will practice honestly. It's like chatting with your senior brothers all day long. Su Yu retorted in frustration. The story I told my senior brothers is also related to cultivation. Speaking of this, the heavenly master became even angrier. Get out of here, are you practicing? You're just daydreaming. What about Luanhai, Daogong, Siji, and Hualong? Can you practice them and show them to me? If it continues like this, I will worry that one day when you meditate, you will suddenly become demonic. This mission, you have to go either way or not. Su Yu. Zhanzai System, end of this chapter. Chapter 3. You are truly a newcomer. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. You are truly a newcomer. In the end, due to the lewd power of the old master, Su Yu still had no choice but to agree to invite Zhang Chulan to participate in the Luo Tian festival with Zhang Lingyu. However, Su Yu was not convinced that the stories told by the heavenly master were all nonsense. He can even travel under one person now. Why doesn't these mystical worlds like covering the sky exist? Why did you travel to a world under one person? That night, Su Yu was contemplating life in his own room. It's not that Su Yu feels that the world is not good under one person. On the contrary, both the senior brothers of the Heavenly Master Mansion and the old Heavenly Master have shown great care to Su Yu, giving him the warmth of the Su Yu family. However, as someone who has died once, Su Yu's most pressing concern at present is immortality. However, in a world under one person, even if one practices to the level of an old master, they cannot achieve this at all. Oh, I don't want to go to bed now. I have to wake up early tomorrow to catch the plane. When Suyu opened his eyes again, what he saw was no longer the familiar ceiling, but a gray sky. Suyu. I'll go, whose general is so brave. Can you actually kidnap him from Longhu Mountain, where the old master is stationed? His room is not far from old master's yard. But soon Suyu put this idea behind him, let alone whether there are such amazing people in the world under one person. Even if there were, the other party wouldn't have come to Longhu Mountain to kidnap him as an unknown soldier. And Suyu looked around, this place didn't seem like a normal place no matter how it looked. He couldn't have been asleep and crossed over again, could he? Soon, Suyu also noticed that there seemed to be more than just him in this strange space, and there were two figures not far away. As Suyu gazed at the two figures, they were also staring at Suyu. One of the figures, like Suyu, was on guard and chose to stand still and observe the situation, and the other figure was much more casual. When they saw other people in the space, they were overjoyed and walked directly towards Suyu and the others. Suyu and another person instinctively wanted to retreat, but inexplicably stopped because they didn't notice the danger from the third person. Not only did he not feel the danger, but he also felt a bit friendly. The third person seemed to have anticipated this reaction and waved his hand to signal Suyu and the others not to be nervous. Don't worry, if you carefully perceive this space, you will know what exactly happened. Suyu couldn't raise his guard against this third person and instinctively followed their instructions. He let go of his consciousness and began to feel this strange space. Then, Suyu saw the scene of his time traveling. It was a sunny morning, with no one on the street. Suyu was walking home with a pack of snacks. While crossing the road, an accident occurred. A mud-headed car suddenly appeared on the street where there was no car to be seen at all, as if it had crossed through space and appeared next to Suyu. It didn't give Suyu any time to react and ran over directly. Just as Suyu was wondering why he had seen these things, the scene continued, which was a perspective that Suyu did not remember. After being run over by the mud truck, Suyu's body turned into a puddle of flesh, but his soul was strangely shattered into countless pieces, and then a black hole appeared, swallowing all the fragments of his soul into it. Suyu. This picture implies, no, it indicates that Suyu, who is familiar with online literature, naturally knows what happened. He is not just an ordinary time traveler, but a 99 school student. Thinking of this, Suyu opened his eyes and looked at the two people in front of him. These two should be himself from another world, right? Thinking of this, Suyu's eyes began to sparkle, as if eagerly seeing the grey wolf of Pleasant Goat. Following the routine, he should now be sharing his own techniques, talents, and powers from other worlds. With such golden fingers, does he still worry about not being able to live forever in the world under one person? Suyu even thought that it would be best to have a self that covers the world of heaven, share a set of cultivation methods based on oneself, and then go back and startle the old celestial master's chin. The front even said that the stories I told were all nonsense, but the back I took out the real thing. That scene, even thinking about it, feels exciting. However, when this idea came to Suyu's mind, another message was suddenly transmitted from the strange space, causing Suyu's smile to freeze on the spot. In this dog space, sharing one's own techniques, items, and powers is actually necessary to complete tasks and unlock permissions. Suyu from each world will have 3 missions after entering the strange space. Completing the first task can unlock memory sharing permissions, completing 2 tasks can unlock item sharing permissions, complete all 3 tasks in order to unlock all permissions and share the power of oneself in other worlds. Looking at his own permission to unlock tasks, Suyu instantly put on a mask of pain. Permission Task 1. Please slander and distort the reputation of any of the 10 experts in the alien world. Permission Task 2. Please obtain the title of No Blue Lotus 2 Team with Zhang Chulan during the Luo Tian Festival. Permission Task 3. Please explore the mystery of Ming Fei Xing Huao. What kind of tasks are these? defamate and distort the reputation of a top 10 in the alien world. Even if he is a disciple of the Heavenly Master, he will still be beaten, okay? And winning the title of No Blue Lotus 2 team with Zhang Chulan made Su Yu want to beat up this space. What kind of person is Su Yu? He should be clean and self-disciplined. How could he possibly be confused with someone like Zhang Chulan? As for the third mission, Su Yu is still far from ascending. I don't know how far away he is. Does this dog space really want them to take advantage of the benefits of other worlds? How can we set up this permission to unlock tasks? Seeing Su Yu's painful mask on his face, the third person, Su Yu, who had first arrived in this space, couldn't help but laugh. Huh, how's it going? I just arrived in this space and when I saw these tasks, I had the same expression. These tasks are not meant to be completed by anyone at all. I have traveled through a perfect world, and his unlocking task of Permission 1 is actually asking me to play the little XX of the Wilderness Emperor. Isn't that to make me die? When Su Yu and Perfect Su Yu roast that this space was not a son of man, the last Su Yu also opened his eyes. However, unlike Su Yu and Perfect Su Yu, his eyes sparkled with light. Wow, experts, please share a wave of cultivation techniques. One person Su Yu, Perfect Su Yu. Can this third Su Yu actually share his martial arts skills? Which world have you traveled through? What is the permission unlocking task? The two couldn't help but inquire in unison. I should have traveled through a world of martial arts, but what I already know is a mix of several martial arts stories. Currently, I am storytelling at the Tongfu Inn in Qixia town. Later, Zhongwu Suyu felt a little embarrassed and touched his head. As for the authority task, the first task is to rob Mo Xiaobei at least 30 times to eat tomatoes on sticks. One person Suyu, Perfect Suyu. You are really a newborn. Children snatch tomatoes on sticks. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Afraid of brothers leading the way. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The source has no content or has errors. Chapter 5. Cultivation of the Blood-Moving Realm. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5 Cultivation of the Blood-Moving Realm. After a brainstorming session, Suyu showed an expression of subway, elderly person, mobile phone. He thought of a less favorable possibility. When he was at Longhu Mountain, besides telling his junior disciples fantasy novels, Suyu's most common way to pass the time was to secretly use old master's phone to surf the internet. No way, who would prohibit disciples from holding mobile phones before reaching adulthood in Longhu Mountain. Once, while watching a female anchor on Lao Tianchu's phone, Suyu had a sudden impulse and asked his senior brother in charge of external affairs on the mountain to help Lao Tianchu's account obtain real name authentication. Suyu felt a chill in his back. It shouldn't have been this incident that distorted the reputation of the Heavenly Master in the alien realm, right? But if that's the case, how could the old master just lightly tap his head when he mentioned this matter in the main hall of Longhu Mountain before? Doubt, Suyu is very puzzled now. But soon, with a big heart, he put this matter behind him. No matter what's going on with him, it's already like this. The most important thing now is to hold on to Perfect Suyu's thigh first. Boss, give me a copy of 8 or 9 heavenly skills too. Perfect Suyu. After Suyu briefly explained his situation, he immediately followed in the footsteps of Zhongwu Suyu and began to pick up Perfect Suyu's thigh. Originally, Perfect Suyu thought that only comprehensive Marshal Suyu was lucky enough to complete the permission unlocking task in this strange space. In this case, Perfect Suyu can actually accept it. After all, he still has one person Suyu to accompany him, and the result is the clown is actually himself. The only one among the 3 people who failed to complete the permission unlocking task was actually him. Perfect Suyu instantly put on a mask of pain. Although according to the description of Strange Space, when sharing memories and power with other worlds, Suyu himself will not suffer any losses, but Perfect Suyu still feels uncomfortable. Why is he the one who is being prostituted for free by someone else in the world? And recalling his perverted first permission unlocking task, Perfect Suyu looked up helplessly, with a premonition surging in his heart. He was probably going to act as a tool for Suyu to become stronger in other worlds. As for wanting to share something with Suyu from other worlds, let's wait for him to figure out where Shimura is first. However, with no choice but to return, Perfect Suyu generously copied a copy of the 8 or 9 heavenly skills in his own cultivation experience from moving blood to the heavenly cave for both the single-person Suyu and the comprehensive martial arts Suyu. After all, they are all brothers, there's no need to be too stingy. Of course, Perfect Suyu felt that there was no need to let others know about the memories of bullying other ferocious beast cubs and stealing their milk and drink in the wild mountains. So, amidst the laughter and joy of one-person Suyu and Zongwu Suyu, as well as the pain mask of Perfect Suyu, this sharing PY also came to a successful end. Zongwu Suyu gained cultivation experience in the 8 or 9 heavenly skills, blood moving, and cave realm from Perfect Suyu, and learned the golden light mantra and thunder technique from a single-person Suyu. One person, Suyu, also gained cultivation experience in the 8 or 9 heavenly skills and the blood moving in cave realm. As for Perfect Suyu, this time he purely acted as a tool man. Under one person in the world, on Dragon and Tiger Mountain. When Suyu opened his eyes again, he had already left the strange space and returned to his own room. Looking at the familiar room, Suyu suddenly had some doubts. Did he enter the strange space with his body or with his soul consciousness alone? And how does singular space itself arise? After thinking for a moment, Suyu shook his head. These questions were still too far away for him now. Instead of wasting time thinking about the obvious unanswered question, Suyu felt that he now had more important things to do. Suyu sat cross-legged and began to enter a state of meditation, while also flipping through the techniques and memories shared by Perfect Suyu with him. First of all, it's the 8 or 9 heavenly skills. Due to sharing his cultivation memories, Suyu's mastery of this invincible inheritance suddenly reached a high level. At this moment, he is operating his martial arts to see if he can practice the 8 or 9 heavenly arts normally. After a moment, Suyu's face showed a smile. The 8 or 9 heaven skill can be practiced normally. Although he left the perfect world and Suyu, who was under him, was not a mixed world demon ape, he could still practice the 8 or 9 heavenly skills normally. Perhaps there is a strange space effect involved, otherwise even if I could still practice that 8 or 9 heaven skill, my efficiency might have decreased significantly. Since there is no problem with the 8 or 9 heavenly skills, the next step is to try and see if we can break through to the realm of moving blood based on our memory in our minds. But this time, Suyu encountered a dilemma. The blood transfer realm, as the first cultivation realm in a perfect world, its essence is to mobilize the whole body's essence and blood, refine bone inscriptions, and stimulate divine light in the blood, thereby refining heaven and earth and nourishing the body. To achieve this step, one must either have a strong bloodline and a naturally strong physique, either it is necessary to baptize oneself with the essence and blood of ferocious beasts in childhood, causing self-transformation. And these two methods cannot be achieved by Suyu alone in the world. Suyu furrowed his brow tightly. Is it impossible for the world to cultivate the blood-moving realm under one person? Although it is also possible to wait until the end of the Luo Tian festival, complete the second permission unlocking task, and obtain the necessary resources for baptism from Perfect Suyu before practicing the blood-moving realm, Suyu does not want to do so. Firstly, it takes too long to wait for this, and secondly, it means that his future cultivation resources will depend on Perfect Suyu, which creates a significant burden on the opponent. After all, cultivation resources are not like memory or power, and sharing specific items will result in loss. He must come up with a way to cultivate on his own. After some contemplation, an idea came to Suyu's mind. Why do people in a perfect world use their qi and blood to melt bone inscriptions and give birth to divine radiance? Because before that, the cultivation method of a perfect world could not master other special powers, only pure strength and qi and blood. But Suyu is different. In addition to the 8 or 9 heavenly skills, Suyu also possesses the power of qi. Can qi be used instead of qi and blood to melt bones and texts into flesh and blood? Do whatever you say. Suyu immediately entered a state of calm and began to try his own idea. Golden rays emerged from the surface of Suyu's body, and those were the embodiment of Suyu Qi. These golden Qi slowly transform into incredibly mysterious bone inscriptions, which are the bone inscriptions of the mixed world demon ape. These bone inscriptions slowly merged into Suyu's flesh and blood, starting to trigger the transformation of his body. Sure enough, using Qi instead of Qi and blood to refine bone inscriptions is feasible, but to complete transformation, relying solely on my own Qi seems far from enough. There are only 2 options in front of Suyu now. One is to wait for his own energy to recover before continuing his transformation. However, Suyu is not sure if stopping this transformation midway would pose a hidden danger. Since that's the case, then let's absorb the external energy. Having made up his mind, Suyu began to use the 8 or 9 heavens technique, as if he had transformed into a bottomless black hole, constantly swallowing the surrounding energy. As Suyu's transformation deepened, the scope of his swallowing also expanded. From Suyu's room to the surrounding courtyards, and then slowly expanding to the entire Dragon and Tiger Mountain. However, although the scope has been expanding, it has not caused much commotion. After all, although one person practices Qi in the world, they mainly focus on cultivating their own Qi. To perceive changes in external Qi, one must either have corresponding techniques or cultivate to connect with the heavens. The Golden Light Curse of Dragon and Tiger Mountain is also known for its self-enhancing technique, so although Suyu caused a lot of commotion, not many people noticed it. In a small cabin not far away, the old celestial master who was originally planning to go to bed and rest was one of the few people who noticed the unusual changes in the energy of heaven and earth. The old master came to the window and saw the center of the anomaly at a glance. That's Xiaoyu's room. What did he do? The old master was very puzzled and didn't understand how Suyu's realm caused such a large-scale spiritual energy movement. Is it difficult? Did he really start trying to cultivate those realms he fabricated and then go crazy? Signed, you can rest assured to follow up. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Shocked Old Master. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. Shocked Old Master. For Suyu, the Heavenly Master naturally takes great care of him, otherwise he would not have taken him as his disciple. Although Suyu may be a bit lazy, a bit out of tune, and sometimes a headache, the Heavenly Master knows that Suyu is essentially a good child. As a result, when Suyu secretly used his phone to watch the female anchor, which led to him being mocked by Lao Lu on the phone, the Heavenly Master did not get angry, but only punished Suyu a little. After all, being mocked by Lao Lu is just a big deal. When he finds an opportunity later, he finds a way to compete with Lao Lu, and this face will be regained. Of course, these are all for later discussion. Now, the Heavenly Master is more concerned about what happened on Suyu's side. The old Celestial Master's figure flashed, and he disappeared from his original position in an instant. From his body method alone, it was impossible to tell that he was an old man over 100 years old. Suyu's house was not far from Old Master's courtyard, and he arrived at the scene at Old Master's speed in just a moment. However, when he truly saw Suyu with his own eyes, Old Master was still shocked. Longhu Mountain was originally a place of elegance, but now, due to Suyu's reasons, the spiritual energy of the entire Longhu Mountain almost gathers in his cabin, and its richness even has a faint tendency to liquefy. If it weren't for the old Celestial Master knowing that this was just an ordinary small wooden house in the Celestial Master's mansion, he would almost have thought he had walked to some immortal family fortune land. What's going on with this kid? Such a big commotion doesn't seem like he's going off guard while practicing. Originally, the Heavenly Master thought that Su Yu was distracted while practicing, which led to him becoming possessed by the demon. However, what he saw now made him less certain. This scene doesn't seem like going crazy, it's clearly a soaring posture. Standing outside, the old master pondered for a moment before finally deciding to go inside and see what had happened. Pushing open the door, the first thing the Heavenly Master saw was Su Yu sitting cross-legged on the bed, meditating and practicing. There's no way, Su Yu's current presence is really too high. Su Yu's body was like a bottomless black hole, absorbing the surrounding spiritual energy and continuously pouring into it. In the eyes of someone like Lao Tianshi who can intuitively see the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, Su Yu at this moment seems to be surrounded by a vortex of spiritual energy. With the continuous influx of these spiritual energies, Su Yu's body is also undergoing an unpredictable transformation. Su Yu's pores dilated all over his body, and his flesh and blood emitted a brilliant divine radiance, like a reincarnated deity. And the spiritual energy around him constantly transformed into bone inscriptions, integrating into Su Yu's body, supporting him to constantly undergo transformation. The old celestial teacher looked at the bone inscriptions and felt mysterious and unpredictable. Upon closer examination, he could even see the phantom of a demon ape fighting in the sky and earth. Hush! The old celestial master was so shocked that he took a deep breath. After pondering for a moment, he still chose to retreat. Originally, the Heavenly Master came to believe that Su Yu had a problem in his cultivation and had gone crazy, so he came over specifically to help. However, the current situation has exceeded the Heavenly Master's expectations. The bone inscriptions and the transformation that Su Yu is undergoing at this time are too astonishing, making it impossible for the Heavenly Master to understand what has happened. For the sake of Su Yu's safety, the Heavenly Master dared not rashly interrupt this transformation, so he had to retreat and choose to protect Su Yu outside the house, stopping other people who might come to disturb him. Until late at night, Su Yu's transformation finally came to an end. Good kid, it's finally coming to an end. If this continues, Longhu Mountain will probably become a barren mountain tomorrow. Feeling the gradually fading spiritual energy around him, the worries on the face of the old celestial master also dissipated a lot, replaced by doubts. Master, I'm so sorry to trouble you, the old man, to protect me at night. Su Yu walked out of the room and looked at the old master guarding outside the door, feeling deeply moved. Previously, although Su Yu had fallen into a transformation, his perception of the outside world remained constant. Therefore, from the arrival of the Heavenly Master to actively protecting him, Su Yu saw it in his eyes. Listening to Su Yu's usual indifferent and lazy tone, old master's furrowed brow also relaxed. Fortunately, it seems that my worries, old man, are unnecessary. You haven't been possessed by any mountain and wild spirits, immortals and demons, so I can rest assured. Su Yu. Master, I just said one sentence. How do you know I wasn't taken away? The old celestial teacher gave Su Yu a white glance. Because the tone of those demons and monsters is not as aggressive as yours, kid. Su Yu. Alright, tell me what's going on with you. Is it possible that you've really cultivated the Wheel Sea and Dao Palace realms that you've been talking about? After confirming that Su Yu was still Su Yu himself, the worries in old master's heart completely dissipated, and the rest were all doubts about what had happened to Su Yu. As the leader of the alien realm, the old master is very confident that whether it is practicing the Golden Light Mantra, Thunder Technique, or any other means in the alien sect, they will never be able to create the illusion they just experienced. After ruling out all the impossibilities, although it was unbelievable, the Heavenly Master could only speculate whether Su Yu had actually created something unprecedented. Faced with old master's inquiry, Su Yu shook his head. What I just practiced was not the Wheel Sea or Dao Palace secret realm. The Heavenly Master nodded. That's okay, at least it wasn't those nonsense things that came true. If Su Yu really practices the realm of fantasy novels told to his junior brothers in reality, old master feels that his worldview will collapse. However, before the Heavenly Master could be relieved for long, Suyu spoke again. What I have just been practicing is the realm of blood transfer, with the main purpose of refining bone inscriptions, giving birth to divine light in my body, and then refining the creation of heaven and earth to strengthen my body and physique. Suyu began to briefly explain the essence of the blood-moving realm. An old master was also a cultivator who quickly became addicted to it. Interestingly, it sounds like an ultimate method of life cultivation. Although your transformation just now was mainly about the physical body and soul, your consciousness and soul are also undergoing tempering. As he spoke, the heavenly master suddenly realized something, which was that he seemed to have heard the word moving blood from a young Taoist on Longhu Mountain somewhere. Wait a moment, is this realm also from those fantasy stories you told? Suyu smiled and nodded. Yes, this is the first realm of cultivation in a story I told called Perfect World. Old Master. It's broken, my worldview is still shattered. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. Old Master. With 100 years of cultivation, I have my own mysteries. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. Old Master. With 100 years of cultivation, I have my own mysteries. Old Master Tian has been a Taoist prodigy since childhood, and after achieving great cultivation, he has been dominating the realm of aliens for nearly 100 years, earning the title of Heavenly Passage Man. However, at this moment, the Heavenly Master only felt that his 100 years of cultivation had fallen into the dog's belly. Telling fantasy novels to my junior brothers resulted in a new realm of cultivation. Is this still a personal experience? How on earth did you do it? As a master, the Heavenly Master is unwilling to inquire about the secrets of his own disciples, but the Heavenly Master was also a cultivator, so in the end, he couldn't resist and asked Suyu. How to put this? The situation is a bit complicated. Specifically, I did not create this realm out of thin air, but rather the perfect world and the world represented by the fantasy stories I have told exist. By chance, I obtained the cultivation methods within it. Suyu attempted to explain the origin of the blood-moving realm cultivation method to Old Master in a concise manner. The Heavenly Master treated him like a family member, and Suyu felt that there was no need to hide such things from the other party. However, the martial arts and bone inscriptions I have obtained are too mysterious. I cannot fully depict them at my current level, nor can I teach them to Master. Suyu felt a bit regretful. He really wanted to see what kind of chemical reaction would occur when the Old Master combined with the perfect cultivation method. Your Master, am I the kind of person who covets your martial arts? The old celestial teacher gave Suyu a glare. On the contrary, this kid actually wants to turn around and teach him to become his master. Alright, since your cultivation is over, I'll go back and rest, old man. The Heavenly Master did not continue to inquire about how Suyu obtained cultivation methods from other worlds, which was not important to him. As long as Suyu remained his disciple, it was enough. However, at this moment, Suyu stopped the Old Master. Master, don't worry. I have something else to ask you. Do you know what the situation with Feisheng is? Tell me about it. At this moment, Suyu remembered the third permission unlocking task in the strange space, exploring the mystery of Ming Feisheng. And if we were to say who knows the most about Feisheng in this alien world, it would undoubtedly be the one in front of us, the 65th generation Heavenly Master Zhang Jiwei. Zhang Daoling, the first Heavenly Master of Longhu Mountain, is a clearly recorded person who ascended to the sky. Throughout the ages, the Heavenly Masters of Longhu Mountain have been forbidden by the Heavenly Masters from generation to generation. If it were to be said that it has nothing to do with the mystery of ascension, Suyu would not believe it. Coincidentally, Suyu was demonstrating the blood-moving realm cultivation method in front of the old celestial master at the moment. He planned to strike the iron while it was hot and ask the old celestial master about flying up. If you can directly complete the permission unlocking task, that would be great. However, to Suyu's surprise, when faced with this question, although the old master stopped his steps and left, he did not answer. After a moment of silence, the old master spoke up. Xiaoyu, I can't answer you this question. Su Yu was stunned and then understood. It seems that the prohibition of the Heavenly Master's degree is much stronger than he imagined, even scattered news cannot be revealed by the old Heavenly Master. And I advise you not to study this anymore. It's impossible to soar in this era. Just trying to understand things related to flying is already very dangerous. The expression on Lao Tianchu's face was very conflicted, wanting to reveal something to Su Yu, but due to the influence of Tianchu Du, he still couldn't say anything in the end. Su Yu naturally understood the meaning of the Heavenly Master, who hoped that his family would not explore and ascend related matters, but unfortunately that was impossible. Even in order to complete the permission unlocking task in the strange space, Su Yu must figure out the mystery of soaring. I don't believe in any claims of not being able to soar. If that's the case, it's just that I'm not strong enough. As for the dangerous master, you have to worry too much. Although I just cultivated the blood-moving realm, there are not many people in this world who can compete with me. With the addition of the 8 or 9 heavenly skills, as well as his own golden light curse and thunder technique, Su Yu is very confident at this moment that the entire alien realm can no more than a finger wrestle with his own family. And this is just the beginning of entering the blood-moving realm. When his family reaches the blood-moving extreme realm, and even the cave heaven realm, Su Yu dares to speak up and say that he is invincible in the world. Seeing Su Yu so confident, Old Master raised his eyebrows and eyes gently. Yo ho, I see you're a bit drifting. So let me try to move your blood realm, old man. What are the mysteries behind it? Su Yu scratched his head. Master, isn't that good? What if you lose your ultimate title to me today? Old Master. Hee, although it's already late at night, don't start dreaming too early, kid. If you want to surpass the old man, you still need to practice for 3 to 5 years. As soon as the old master finished speaking, endless golden light emerged from him, and then turned into white thunderbolts, and Su Yu, seeing that the old master seemed to be coming, was also unwilling to be outdone. His whole body was running with chi and blood, and his 8 or 9 heavenly skills were ready to be unleashed. Immediately after, a loud bang appeared, and everyone on the entire Dragon and Tiger Mountain was awakened from their dreams. The next day, at the gate of Lomhu Mountain, Zhang Lingyu looked at Su Yu with an explosive hairstyle and a puzzled expression on her face. Junior brother, did you get a new hairstyle overnight? Su Yu waved his hand and casually said. It's okay, Senior Lingyu, don't worry about me. I made a mistake while practicing the thunder technique last night, and the result was like this. Zhang Lingyu nodded and believed. So the thunderous sound last night was from you, junior brother, practicing thunder technique. The practice of thunder technique is very complex and dangerous. Junior brother, if you have any confusion in the future, you can come and ask me. Although our thunder technique is different, senior brother can still answer your questions. Senior brother, don't worry, I will do it. Seeing Su Yu nod, Zhang Lingyu stopped talking and stood still, waiting for the old master to come. However, when Zhang Lingyu saw the late arrival of the heavenly master, a question mark once again rose above her head. The old celestial master was dressed in a heavenly master Taoist robe, with a fairy-like demeanor and backbone. At first glance, he looked no different from usual, except that the corner of one eye became blue and purple, as if someone had punched him hard. Master, are you here? The old master waved his hand and casually said. Lingyu, don't worry, master. This is a technique I researched and created last night. There was a fork in my breathing, and my hand's Yangming large intestine meridian was obstructed, causing my face to swell. Zhang Lingyu. Master, will the face be swollen due to obstruction of the large intestine meridian during hand Yangming? Zhang Lingyu said that this does not seem to match the knowledge he has learned in the past. Are you a master or am I a master? My 100 years of cultivation have its own mysteries. Zhang Lingyu. Zhang Lingyu looked at the blue and purple corners of her master's eyes, then at Su Yu's explosive head, and fell into silence. He feels that neither of these two people is right today. Signed, everyone can rest assured to read 4,000 words per day. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Me and the Heavenly Master may. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. Me and the Heavenly Master may. Although he came out specifically to bid farewell, the Heavenly Master didn't say much. He simply reminded Zhang Lingyu and Su Yu to bring Zhang Chulan back to participate in the Luo Tian festival. Although Zhang Lingyu didn't know why the Heavenly Master valued Zhang Chulan so much, as long as it was his orders, he would complete them without asking for any reason. Zhang Lingyu. Master, this must have his profound meaning. After Su Yu and Zhang Lingyu descended the mountain, the old celestial master stood at the mountain gate, gazing at their backs from a distance, wondering what he was thinking. Upon seeing this scene, Tian Jinzhong thought that the Heavenly Master was worried about Su Yu and Zhang Lingyu. Senior brother, you don't need to worry so much, do you? Lingyu and Xiaoyu are not children anymore. Lingyu went down the mountain to experience it once in the past 2 years, and Xiaoyu is even more mischievous. Together, they won't suffer any losses. The old master silently turned his head to look at his own junior brother and gave him a glance to let his family understand. He is worried that Su Yu will suffer losses. Just kidding, Su Yu's cultivation is already on par with him. Who can make him suffer a loss? If anyone dares to provoke Su Yu after descending the mountain, then the Heavenly Master is going to mourn for him. Thinking of this, Old Master also recalled that sparring with Su Yu last night. The result of that sparring was that Su Yu and Old Master were evenly matched, and neither could do anything about it. Although Su Yu has completed the blood-moving realm, as well as the perfect cultivation memory of Su Yu and the bone script of the mixed world demon ape, after all, he has only just completed it and can only shake up to 10,000 or 20,000 pounds with one arm, which is still far from the blood-moving extreme realm of 100,000 pounds. Su Yu punched with all his might, and after breaking the protective golden light of the old celestial master, the remaining strength left only 2 black circles under his eyes. If he wanted to cause further damage, he was powerless to continue. And the same goes for the old master. After being weakened by Su Yu's stamina, chi, and blood, the 5 thunder correct technique that he exerted with all his might was only left with the power to burn an explosive head. Those 2 stinky kids, what am I worried about them doing? The old celestial master shook his head and said, if anyone dares to provoke Su Yu after descending the mountain, then they are truly the blood mold that has been ruined for 8 lifetimes. Senior brother, are you thinking about Chu Lan's situation? Yes, after all, you are the grandson of the great ear thief. Speaking of this, Old Master and Tian Jinzhong both fell silent. Zhang Huai, the great ear thief, is a hurdle that they will never overcome in their hearts. Alas, everything has its own destiny. I'll talk about Chu Lan's child's affairs when I personally see him during Luo Tian's wedding ceremony. After speaking, the old celestial master also pushed Tian Jinzhong's wheelchair and slowly walked towards the interior of the celestial master's mansion. On the other side, on the way down the mountain, Su Yu was also reviewing last night's sparring. However, contrary to the conclusion drawn by the Heavenly Master, Su Yu felt that he should have surpassed him, as he still had the 8 or 9 heavenly skills to perform. Leaving aside the 3 heads and 6 arms and 70.2 transformations included in the 8-9 heavenly skills, let's simply say that the 8-9 heavenly skills themselves are an invincible ancient battle scripture that can be used to control treasure techniques against enemies. If using the 8 or 9 heavenly skills to control the Yang 5 thunder attack, Su Yu believes there is a high probability that he can defeat the old heavenly master. However, in the end, it was just a sparring. Old master or master, Suyu did not use this method. He, Suyu, still respects his teachers and values the way very much. Moreover, compared to defeating the Heavenly Master, Suyu prefers to obtain information related to the mystery of ascension from the Heavenly Master. However, it is possible that the prohibition of the Heavenly Master's degree was too strong, so that after confirming that Suyu's strength was not inferior to his own, the old Heavenly Master did not directly reveal any information related to Feixing. I just warned Suyu to investigate, but never try to make a leap. Suyu has already demonstrated a strength that can be comparable to that of the Heavenly Master, but the Heavenly Master still gave this warning, which can only explain one point. In the understanding of the Heavenly Master, even if he and Suyu, who were standing at the pinnacle of the alien realm, were to ascend, they would only be doomed to death. Combined with the point previously mentioned by the Heavenly Master that this era is no longer suitable for soaring, Suyu already has many speculations in his heart. However, it will take some time to confirm these hypotheses, so Suyu is not in a hurry to figure it out. Suyu plans to first invite Zhang Chulan to participate in the Luo Tian festival with Zhang Lingyu, and then together with Zhang Chulan, obtain the title of No Blue Lotus 2 Team at the Luo Tian festival, in order to complete the second unlocking task of the strange space. First, gather some genius treasures from perfect Suyu and push your cultivation to the extreme realm of moving blood. In this way, exploring the mystery of takeoff and ascent in the future will also be more confident. As for how to obtain the title of not wanting a green lotus like Zhang Chulan, Suyu has not yet figured it out. After thinking it over, Suyu also turned his head to look at Zhang Lingyu beside him. Since descending the mountain, Zhang Lingyu has never said a word again, which is very abnormal. Although Zhang Lingyu usually doesn't like to talk, she hasn't become so introverted. After a little thought, Suyu roughly understood the reason behind it. Zhang Lingyu probably recalled the strange encounter she had during her last downhill training. How can this work? Chu Chu is just a Xiaobei. Can't Suyu's senior brother still overcome this inner demon? As the saying goes, in order to overcome fear, the first thing to do is to face fear and not avoid it. Thinking of this, Suyu's mouth slightly curled up and spoke. Lingyu's senior brother, do you think the master asked us to come down the mountain this time without specifying a time to return? Why don't we play at the foot of the mountain for 2 more days after finding Zhang Chulan, and come back after the Luo Tian festival? Upon hearing this proposal, Zhang Lingyu frowned slightly. If it weren't for the experience of going down the mountain 2 years ago, Zhang Lingyu might have agreed to Suyu's proposal. After all, the opportunities for disciples of Longhu Mountain to go down the mountain are already limited, so it's not a problem to take their junior brothers to play. But after the incident 2 years ago, Zhang Lingyu now has PTSD for the world below the mountain. If it weren't for the mission of the Heavenly Master this time, killing Zhang Lingyu wouldn't have come down the mountain. So when faced with Suyu's proposal to play more at the foot of the mountain, Zhang Lingyu could only politely refuse. Junior brother Suyu, although the master doesn't have a designated task time, as disciples, we can't let him wait too long. It's better to return to the mountain early to report the completion of the task. But senior brother, I finally had a chance to go down the mountain. Junior brother, what do you want to stay at the foot of the mountain for a while longer? I want to find a beautiful girl to be your daughter. Law, senior brother. Zhang Lingyu. Zhang Lingyu gave Suyu a fierce glare, feeling that his junior apprentice might have known something. But on second thought, Zhang Lingyu felt it was impossible. How could Suyu possibly know about the matter with Xiaobei, who didn't even tell the Heavenly Master? Unable to come up with a reason, Zhang Lingyu could only shift the topic. Junior brother, as cultivators, we should have a clear mind and few desires. I am not interested in male or female affairs. Don't bother, senior brother. We can't help but get married again in Longhu Mountain. Look at the old man on the mountain, find a beautiful wife. I also take a lot of looks and care for my eyes, junior brother. Zhang Lingyu. Zhang Lingyu's face turned black on her head. Why did his wife show you such a stinky kid? Watching Zhang Lingyu fall silent, Suyu begins to strike while the iron is hot. Senior brother, you are talented and intelligent. You are the face of our young disciples from Longhu Mountain. You can't be too indecisive when looking for a wife. I heard from my senior brothers that there is a famous for madness in Chuanqing recently, and Xia he is an unparalleled beauty. I think he matches you very well. Zhang Lingyu. #degree, signed, you can rest assured to follow up. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Mo Xiaobei, who wants to learn martial arts. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. Mo Xiaobei, who wants to learn martial arts. After Suyu said the name Xiahe, Zhang Lingyu's whole body split open. The deepest secret in her heart was suddenly poked by Suyu, and Zhang Lingyu didn't know what to say for a moment. Zhang Lingyu had the intention to refute, but as soon as the words reached her mouth, she would recall Xia He's figure in her heart. The words of refutation could not be spoken, and she could only remain silent. It wasn't until a few minutes later that Zhang Lingyu held back a sentence. Junior brother, how did you know? Suyu knew he had it before, and it's not surprising about that. He changed his Yang 5 Thunder to Yin 5 Thunder, and the entire Heavenly Master Mansion knew about it. Zhang Lingyu wondered how Suyu knew about Xia He. Senior brother, you talked in your sleep at night and said it yourself. Suyu casually fabricated an answer and said. Zhang Lingyu. At this moment, Zhang Lingyu began to ponder in her heart the feasibility of learning meditation with Master Tian Jinzhong to replace sleep. Junior brother, please don't tell anyone about this matter, especially the master. Faced with Zhang Lingyu's earnest plea, Suyu nodded nonchalantly. Anyway, after the Luo Tian festival, the old celestial master will know that there is no difference if he doesn't say it. Senior brother, it's not that I'm talking about you. If you like someone, bring them up the mountain. Our Longhu Mountain can't help but get married. Or is it that senior brother you are not good? After experiencing it once, they are not satisfied. Suyu looked at Zhang Lingyu suspiciously and said, it shouldn't be. Senior brother, you have been practicing the Golden Light Mantra and Thunder technique since you were young, so you should be strong and vigorous. Junior brother, stop talking. Zhang Lingyu blushed and interrupted Suyu's murmuring. Zhang Lingyu swore that he had never been so eager to hit someone in his life. If it weren't for Suyu being his own junior brother, Zhang Lingyu would have activated the Golden Light Curse long ago, and his big mouth would have burned it. I was young and immature back then, and a momentary mistake was made. If I were to see that omnipotent demon again, would definitely eliminate the demon and defend the way, and never leave a hand behind. Suyu. Brother Lingyu, do you believe this on your own? So the time they spent on their journey was spent by Suyu teasing Zhang Lingyu and Xia He. Zhang Lingyu became angry but helpless, and the atmosphere was full of joy along the way. 2 flowers bloom, each representing one branch. Comprehensive Martial Arts World, 7 Heroes Town Tongfu Inn. Suyu looked at the bustling guests leaving and also began to tidy up. Due to his part-time job as a storyteller at the inn, Suyu only engages in storytelling in the morning and noon. After all, in the afternoon and evening, Tongfu Inn has no customers at all. Suyu packed his things and prepared to go out and find a secluded place to practice the Golden Light Mantra. But just as she left, Suyu saw Mo Xiaobei returning from school and a string of tomatoes on sticks in her hand. Under the conditioned reflex, Suyu quickly reached out his hand and snatched tomatoes on sticks over. It was hard for Mo Xiaobei to resist Suyu when Suyu snatched tomatoes on sticks. Now that Suyu has begun to practice the Golden Light Curse, Mo Xiaobei has no ability to fight back. Even before he has responded, tomatoes on sticks has already reached Suyu. Looking at Mo Xiaobei's murderous gaze, Suyu coughed helplessly twice. Xiaobei, it's not my fault. It's all your sister.in.law's task. Your sister.in.law told me to keep an eye on you. You are only allowed to eat 1 string of tomatoes on sticks a day. You had already eaten one when you went out in the morning, and now of course I can't let you continue to eat it. After joining Tongfu Inn, Suyu has got rid of the dilemma of living and sleeping in the open. If it were not for the task of shopkeeper Tong, he would not be interested in robbing Mo Xiaobei's tomatoes on sticks. After all, Suyu is also shameful. Bullying children is not what he wants. Mo Xiaobei doesn't care about these things, she just stared at Suyu with bitter hatred. This is the man who stole her tomatoes on sticks every day on her way to school before coming to the inn. That's okay, after all, Mo Xiaobei is a generous person, and Suyu has also joined the Tongfu Inn, which can be considered a family. Mo Xiaobei had thought that Suyu would never converge at this time, but who would have guessed that after coming to Tongfu Inn, this dog still robbed her of tomatoes on sticks, which was just right. He robbed her of tomatoes on sticks before coming to the inn, and then he robbed her again after coming. So Suyu came to Tongfu Inn for nothing. But there's no way, who should let Suyu hold the gold medal arrow of manager Tong. However, Mo Xiaobei, who was quick-witted, also found a blind spot, that is, Suyu seems to be robbing her tomatoes on sticks faster and faster recently. Before Suyu robbed her of tomatoes on sticks, Mo Xiaobei could still compete with it, but recently, every time Mo Xiaobei failed to respond, tomatoes on sticks had already been in Suyu's hands. Mo Xiaobei stared at Suyu thoughtfully. Did Brother Bai teach you martial arts? Mo Xiaobei believes that only in this way can he explain Suyu's recent changes. Suyu was somewhat surprised. He didn't expect that Mo Xiaobei was the first among the people at the inn to notice his change. However, regarding Mo Xiaobei's speculation, Suyu just sneered and shook his head. I really want to learn, but Big Brother Bai doesn't have time. Suyu had actually proposed to Bai Zhantong to learn martial arts before, but was politely rejected. Since then, Suyu has not continued to force him. Then what's your situation? I can't see how fast you robbed me of tomatoes on sticks recently. Suyu. You can see his changes from here, right? I already have a family martial arts book at home, but my family was in a downturn before, and I couldn't even afford to eat, so I didn't even care about it. After arriving at the inn, I had nothing to do every afternoon and just practiced it casually. Regarding the matter of the golden light curse, Suyu had already planned to explain it to everyone at Tongfu Inn, and he would speak it out without hesitation. And Mo Xiaobei's eyes were shining. Brother Suyu, can you teach me martial arts? I will give you tomatoes on sticks every day. Suyu. When being robbed of tomatoes on sticks, they are cold-eyed. When they want to learn martial arts, they are, Brother Suyu. It seems that the moral bottom line of the future Red Flame Crazy Devil is also very flexible. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Unlucky Guo Furong. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. Unlucky Guo Furong. In the end, under Mo Xiaobei's constant pleading, Suyu agreed to accept her as the disciple. This is not because Suyu lost himself in Mo Xiaobei's big brother Suyu, but mainly because the tomatoes on sticks snatched the girl too many times in the past, and Suyu felt a little sorry. At the same time, Suyu was also curious about how talented the world's top martial artist, who could be revered as the Red Flame Demon in the future, was in practicing martial arts. You should know that in this world, there are not only martial arts legends. During his casual conversations with Bai Zhantong, Suyu heard well-known names such as the Flower-Moving Palace and the Iron Gallbladder God Marquis. He even heard that there were powerful forces such as the Sword-Casting City and the Supreme Alliance on overseas continents. In the world of martial arts, which combines so many works, Mo Xiaobei's talent cannot be underestimated as he can still become the #1 in the world. However, in the short term, Suyu only plans to teach Mo Xiaobei the Golden Light Curse. It's not that Suyu is hiding anything, it's mainly because of the Thunder technique. Currently, Suyu only knows Yang Wulei. The Yang 5 Thunder technique governs the two qi of the heart and lungs, with full yang energy and unparalleled strength, which is not suitable for girls like Xiaobei to practice. Suyu plans to obtain the Yang 5 Thunder technique from herself in the world under one person in a while and teach it to her. Now, let's practice the Golden Light Mantra first and lay a solid foundation before proceeding. As for the cultivation methods of the 8 or 9 heavenly skills and the blood-moving realm, it goes without saying that Suyu's cultivation level alone is not enough to replicate it for the old heavenly master. Suyu's half-hearted martial arts skills can't be taught to anyone else. So, in the following period of time, Suyu began an extremely regular life. In the morning, I read a book at the inn. In the afternoon, I went out to find a secluded place to practice. In the evening, I practiced with Mo Xiaobei, who was with me after school. Then, I went back to the inn to eat and sleep. During this period, many things also happened. Xiao Guo ran away from home and transformed into a male and female dual evil, wandering the world. After experiencing a series of things, he eventually stayed at the Tongfu Inn. Li Dezue's mother cut off her fingers and Xian Yuan arrived at the inn, leaving no underwear for Bai Zhantang. Yang Huilan also competed for marriage, but was defeated by Xiao Guo however, so you didn't pay much attention to these things and focused solely on the cultivation of the Golden Light Mantra and Thunder technique. The essence of the Golden Light Mantra is a technique of dual cultivation of life and soul. Its essence is to put oneself into a positive state, in which the practitioner's nature and life will continuously improve. Generally speaking, for beginners, let alone entering a positive state, it takes 1.5 years of effort just to condense golden light. However, Suyu is a cheater, so it cannot be compared. With memories shared by the world under one person, Suyu easily entered a positive state, and his life cultivation has been steadily improving. After half a year of hard work, Suyu felt that although he was much worse than himself in the world under one person, he should be able to have a place in the martial arts world. At least hitting Xiao Guo with one hand is definitely not a problem. The only regret that Suyu felt was that he had never been able to enter the cultivation of the blood-moving realm and the 8 or 9 heavens technique. At present, his spiritual cultivation is not enough to use his own and external energy to refine bone texts like Suyu in the world under one person. Whether it's continuing to improve one's life cultivation, then using qi to complete the cultivation of the blood-moving realm, or obtaining some resources from perfect Suyu after completing the second permission unlocking task, these are just a matter of time. Thinking of this, Suyu couldn't help but think about the second task related to unlocking permissions. The second permission unlocking task given by the strange space to the comprehensive martial arts Suyu is not as unlimited as the first task, but there is still some difficulty, which is to defeat an expert in the ultimate realm after birth and become famous in the martial arts world. During this period, Suyu has been buried in hard work and has not been very clear about the division of martial arts levels in this world. He is also not sure what the ultimate level is in the future, and whether his current cultivation level can withstand it. Moreover, taking 10,000 steps back, even if Suyu's current cultivation is sufficient, where can he find an expert in the ultimate realm after birth? These are all issues. On this day, Suyu finished his day of cultivation early and returned to the inn early. He wanted to consult with Bai Zhantang, an old martial arts expert, about the martial arts realm of this world. As soon as Suyu entered the door, someone followed in from behind. That is currently the only constable in Qixia town, Xing Yusen. This is not the first time that Constable Xing has come to Tongfu Inn to eat and drink, and Suyu is not surprised by this. The people at the inn are also accustomed to it. However, this time, Constable Xing's movements were quite strange. He hurriedly walked into the inn, stopped old Bai who was preparing to pour him tea, and then raised his neck to look in the direction of the kitchen, as if he had determined something. Only then did he gather Manager Tong, old Bai, and Suyu together. Suyu was completely overwhelmed by this operation. No, Constable Xing, are you plotting a rebellion, with such a mysterious appearance? Constable Xing glared at Suyu and said angrily. Xiaoyu, I dare not talk nonsense. Can the words rebellion be said casually? Tong, the shopkeeper, and Lao Bai also agreed with each other. Su Yu then remembered that this was still ancient and that the joke of rebellion could not be spoken casually. He quickly apologized. Constable Xing also knew that Su Yu was just casually saying something, and he had more important things to say now, so he didn't say much. Instead, he talked about the main matter of his visit to Tongfu Inn. I have good news and bad news this time. The good news is that a while ago, it was said that a Black Wind fortress had emerged in Xiaobei mountain. Now, there's no need to worry, the group of mountain bandits has been wiped out. The bad news is that there seems to be a small part of these mountain bandits left behind. Su Yu remembered that this seemed to be the plot where the three major clans of the underworld came to chase and kill Xiao Guo. Thinking of this, Su Yu's eyes lit up. The assassins of the three major clans of the underworld, whose names were so loudly called, I wonder if they have reached the ultimate realm after birth. However, the shopkeeper Tong and Lao Bai on the side were filled with question marks when they heard these two news. What does this have to do with them? As for Constable Xing's mysterious way of notifying them in broad daylight. They don't usually go to Xiaobei mountain. Even if there is still a small group of bandits left in the Black Wind village, do they dare to rush into Qixia town to rob in broad daylight? And Constable Xing seemed to have noticed their confusion, so he continued to speak. Besides, I have both good news and bad news here. The person who swept up Xiaobei mountain also brutally tortured the bandits of Heifeng stronghold, interrogated all the bandits' nests within a 500-mile radius, and then swept them all over. Manager Tong and Lao Bai nodded. This is indeed good news, but it still has nothing to do with them. Don't worry, what really matters is the bad news that follows. Constable Xing took a sip of water and said, the person who swept away the mountain bandits left behind Xiaoguo's name. Now, the mountain bandits from a radius of 500 miles have raised 30,000 taels of silver to offer a reward for Xiaoguo's life. It is said that the three major clans of the underworld have all set their sights on this order and sent experts. Hush. Upon hearing these words, Manager Tong and Old Bai took a cold breath in an instant. This was really the worst news from heaven. No wonder Constable Xing came to inform them. Upon hearing this, Su Yu beside him excitedly and involuntarily patted the table. Good news. Manager Tong, Bai Zhantong, Constable Xing. End of this chapter.